Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Steph and today we're going to be talking about how you can read more books this year. So studies have shown that reading can benefit us cognitively, it increases our vocab, our literacy skills, our empathy skills, and so on and so forth. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, so why not talk about how we can maximize those 24 hours to read more books this year? Let's talk about setting goals. So to set a reading goal, we want to make sure it's realistic and achievable. Definitely make it something that you can achieve and think about realistically the time you have to read. Some of us tend to think that we have to save reading for our time off from work, whether it's vacation time or holidays, that's it during the year, and that's not the case at all. Let's think about what time we have during the day. So there are tons of options and we're going to chat more about them. So you definitely want to start small. Think about what little chunks of time you have during the day to read. Even if it's not a lot, take advantage of that time to read a few pages of a book or a chapter and enjoy that time to dive into a story. Maybe you have a few minutes to read while you're having your coffee break in the morning, or perhaps you sit alone for lunch and instead of scrolling through social media for the 100th time that day, you could read a book or listen to a book. Sometimes we tend to watch reruns of things on TV or watch a movie, and certainly there's something to be said for enjoying that. But if you want to mix things up, add a book into that routine instead, give your eyes a little break from that screen time, and dive into a new story with a fresh book. If you find that you're reading a book that you were just not into, or you feel like you should read this, but you're just not digging it, that's okay. Set it aside, save it for later, and try something else. It is okay if you do not finish every book you pick up. The more you find stuff that you're enjoying, the more you're going to want to keep reading. If you hate the book you're reading, why on earth are you going to want to pick it up or even desire to read at all? So stick with books you like, try new things, and if you're not feeling it, set it aside. Let's talk about some time-saving tips. So to maximize your time, there are a few different ways that we can read the most books that we possibly can. A great way to save time is to read audiobooks. So if you can't physically sit down with a book, borrow an audiobook from the library because, man, you can go everywhere with that thing. Have it on your phone if you are folding laundry, if you were in the car, if you were doing dishes, if you are in the house or out the house walking the dog, taking care of something that you have to run errands for or waiting in line, you can absolutely take advantage of that audiobook while you're out and about. It's great also to carry a book with you wherever you go, because if you're waiting in line or if you're in a waiting room for an appointment of some kind, you can open up an iPad or open up a physical copy of a book and enjoy that book while you're waiting. Take little moments in the day to listen to audiobooks or read physical books. Even if it's not for a long amount of time, it can add up over a day, or a week, or a month, and you can get so many more books read if you implement that little strategy sometimes during your day. A great trick as well is to listen to an audiobook at the same time you're reading a physical book. If I have the opportunity to sit down and read, I love it, I enjoy it, it's great. But if I'm out and about, I am listening to an audiobook. I am not listening to the same book that I'm physically reading. I do two different books at the same time so they can move right along. A great way to not get them mixed up is to pick two different genres. So make one book fiction and the other nonfiction, or make one book a romance and one book a mystery or thriller. Make sure they're enough of a contrast that you're not going to get the stories mixed up. And honestly, it's not as difficult as it sounds to keep up with the two of them at the same time. Also really helps if I'm listening to books that take place in different places throughout the world that might have an accent or might have names that are difficult to pronounce, because then I can hear how it's meant to be said. It's really cool when the narrator can do a really great accent. So something to look forward to if you want to be transported to another part of the world when we're at home because of this pandemic. Let's talk about motivation. Some of us find it easier to find motivation to pick up a book and read than others. But if you think you want to read more books this year, here's some great tips for just some incentive for yourself to motivate yourself to pick up that book. Number one, if you borrow books from the library, you are going to be much more likely to get through them in a timely manner because they have a due date. So it's great when these books that you pick up from the library have to be back by a certain time, because then that gives you more motivation to get through it before the library book is returned. So I really love to take advantage of the library. The library has so many resources. Another advantage of the library, you might be willing to give more books a try and discover new books you might like by borrowing them from the library first, and then if you love them, you can always buy them and add them to your home collection. A great way to stay motivated with your reading is to keep track of the books that you read throughout the year. You can do this with a journal. You can also do this in a bullet journal form if you want to be artistic and a little fancy. And then you can also do it in a Word document where you can type out the books that you read. You can also record them in a digital space, something like Goodreads. I know there are many other alternatives to Goodreads. I'll put a few here. But Regardless of what you choose, having some way to see the literary works that you read add up as you go throughout the year is a really great way to see what progress you've made with your reading and to see how far you've come. It doesn't have to be a large amount in order to have a significant accomplishment made on your part and adding to your reading prowess as you go throughout this year. You're not sure where to start with your reading. You of course can get book recommendations online in lots of places, including my channel, but if you just want to find something you know you're going to enjoy and you're going to be able to breeze through, pick up an old favorite, something you maybe haven't read for a while or something you have read before that you know you love, and enjoy revisiting that old world. You can also pick up a book that maybe inspired a movie that you love. So for example, if you love the Harry Potter movies, or if you love an Austen film, or if you love a classic film, or a period drama, or a contemporary film, if it's inspired by a book, give it a go and see if you like the book as much as you do the film adaptation. That's always a fun way to go, and you're already familiar with the characters and the world, so then transitioning to the book I feel like won't be as difficult as you would be to a brand new book that you know nothing about. So that's a great way to explore some literary works and get used to reading again if you've fallen out of the habit of reading. Most of all, and this is my best and last tip, is that you should enjoy your reading. Reading should be fun. If you ever feel like it's not fun, then maybe that's not the book for you. And definitely do not compare your reading progress to anybody else. It's so easy to do so, but don't let yourself fall into that trap. Because truly, Teddy Roosevelt's quote, "Comparison is the thief of joy," one of my favorite quotes, is very, very true. And it's very easy to look at others and their reading progress and think, oh man, I do not measure up because I haven't read this much as so-and-so. Don't feel like if you even fall short of your own goals, then that means you're a total failure at reading. Everyone is at a different pace, and that's okay. Reading just for fun. Don't worry about the quantity of books as much as the quality. If you're finding books that you love and enjoy, then you are in a good spot. I hope that this video has helped you to think about reading in a new way, and perhaps has given you some inspiration and motivation to start reading some more books this year. Thank you so much for watching. If you have anything that you can think of for reading tips, definitely add them in the comments and share them with all of us watching so that we can all share in these reading tips and tricks to improve our reading this year. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon in my next video. Have a great day!